Good morning friends, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, here we are about to start the session. So Ajay, Mohit, Weber, Pooja, Vicky, Kaveri, Shadab, good morning all. Good morning everyone. So we are about to start. Sufficient number of people have already joined us. Okay, Jack Stephen, good morning. Manjeet, good morning. So let's see what exactly is there for us in today's newspaper, and as like we are going to start with these magical words by Nelson Mandela. So he said that the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling but rising every time we fall. And this particular message is really very important for those who are appearing in UPSC. Okay. See, the journey is tough, there is no doubt about it, and it may take more than one attempt. ज़्यादा attempt लग सकते हैं, ठीक है ना? So we have to be very clear about it. Okay, we have to be very clear about it. This is the requirement of this exam. Means competition is like this only. Now in this scenario, it is really very important that we should keep on trying for our, you can say, our goals, without looking into, without demoralizing ourselves with the failures that we are going to face. And the point is that I don't read them as failures, I read them as learnings. मैं उसको एज अ फेलियर लेता ही नहीं हूँ, आई रीड देम एज अ लर्निंग्स. सो दिस इज व्हाट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. This UPSC journey itself is a remarkable thing because you will evolve as a human being. This is the point you have to understand. And this is there in any field. See, every field is tough. You have to move out of your comfort zone. आपको आपके comfort zone से बाहर निकलना ही निकलना पड़ता है. Okay, and every time you learn a new lesson. The point is that it is important that we should never allow us to be demoralized. हमें demoralized नहीं होना. That's the most critical part here. Now, I would like to link it with your GS paper 4. Okay, this particular statement. Suppose if this statement is there in your question, आपके question में आती है ये statement. What are you going to write about it? So best part you have to understand. You have to link it with the emotional intelligence. Okay, you have to link it with the emotional intelligence, because the point is this: without emotional intelligence you will not be able to handle yourself. So emotional intelligence is about understanding others emotion as well as controlling your emotions. So you have to control your emotion as well. Okay, you have to control your emotion as well. Now here, when we talk about rising again, or never falling means rising again, keep yourself going, that will be only possible if you are emotionally intelligent, if you are having a control over your emotions. Because I have seen multiple times people are being drained of emotions, emotion में बह जाते हैं. So those people who are drained of emotions, definitely they cannot handle them and they will face difficulty in rising again. This is the point. This is the point here. So if the question comes in your answer, suppose in your exam the question is there regarding this particular statement, so don't forget to link it with the emotional intelligence. So you have to link it with the emotional intelligence. आपको emotional intelligence के concept के साथ इसे link करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है ना? So ये जरूरी है हमारे लिए. Okay, so there we cannot talk about just moral things, and you have to produce things related to the, you can say, requirement of this exam, and their emotional intelligence and other things are to be mentioned by you. Okay, so let's move to the next thing, and this is the homework that I am giving to you. Please do write, please do write. Okay, what do you understand by this particular thing? Now I have already told that you can link it with your emotional intelligence. Other than that, what else you can produce? आप अपनी तरफ से क्या क्रिएटिविटी डालना चाहते हैं, सो यू कैन राइट इट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. ओके, डू पुट इट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. जस्ट थिंक अबाउट it. Give say 5 to 10 minutes and you will be having some thoughts, some ideas about what you will be writing in the regarding this particular statement, and you can put it in the comment section. आप उसे comment section में डाल सकते हो. Okay, so let's start. Let's see what exactly is there for us in today's newspaper. So here we have this news. Now services rules out rollback of the Agnipath, reveals the hiring plan. Okay, so they are already, you can say, moving ahead. 25,000 is the number that by December this much individuals will be added as Agnipaths. So there are few things that you have to understand, and things are divided in the sense that there are pros and cons. Okay, pros and cons, let's figure it out. What exactly? Pro in the sense that the average age of your army will come down. Right now it is 32 years and we want to reduce it to 26 years, and this is a really good thing. Why this is a good thing, why I am saying that it's a good thing? Because Lieutenant General Anil Puri, okay, so I was like listening to him, and he stated that during the Kargil war, okay, there were some casualties who were not able to sustain that harsh weather. Now, Indian soldiers, no doubt, they are trained to survive in harsh weather. They have the competence, but still casualties were there. Now, if we are going to add young blood, अगर हम young blood add कर रहे हैं, definitely it's an asset. It's an asset. अगर आपके यहाँ पे young blood आएगा तो वो as an asset काम करता है. Okay, so this is a valid point. That's why they want to reduce the average age. Other point definitely is related to the funding in the sense that every year more than 2.5 lakh crore we are spending on salaries and pensions. Okay, pension और salary पे 2.5 lakh crore रुपये लग रहा है. Now it's a very big number. The same amount if reduced can be used for modernization of the military. सेम पैसे का हम इस्तेमाल मिलिट्री मॉडर्नाइजेशन पे करना चाहते हैं. ओके, बट राइट नाउ 54% ऑफ द मनी इज गोइंग इनटू दिस. जो वट एवर इज योर डिफेंस बजट, उसका 54% जो है इसी के ऊपर जा रहा है. सो यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर योर आर्मी फॉर द फ्यूचर चैलेंजेस. नाउ इफ यू look into the future challenges, so it is really important that we need to spend on mechanization and other things, and from that aspect it's a right move. Okay, it's a right move. Now apart from that, what else can be the benefit of this particular scheme? इसके अलावा एक और benefit क्या हो सकता है? Okay, the other benefit that is being stated is this, that those 25% who will be retained, okay, अग्निवीर्स जो 25% हैं जो retained होंगे, they will come out of the competition, and you can say that they will be the best ones. Okay, they will be the best ones, and Mr. Puri said that your forces deserves the best. आपके forces जो है उनको best चाहिए. So these are the benefits that we can draw from this particular scheme. Now cons in the sense, because that youth, what that youth will do after 4 years, there is a question mark over future. Okay, and other than that, if you look into the armed forces, there are say principles like camaraderie और एस्पिरिट डी कॉप्स. ठीक है ना, सब साथ में मिलकर लड़ते हैं, कमाड्रे होता है, भाईचारा होता है. दैट माइट बी मिसिंग. वो कम हो जाएगा बिकॉज देयर विल बी अ कंपटीशन फॉर सर्वाइवल के लिए यहाँ पे कंपटीशन तो हो जाएगा. ठीक है ना, साइबर सर्वाइवल के यहाँ पे कंपटीशन हो जाएगा, एंड इन दैट कंपटीशन थिंग्स कैन नॉट, you know, it can be that normal situation. वो normal situation नहीं होगी. So this is bit problematic. Okay, so we will move to the next news. Now next news is this, like before that let me tell you few more things. So right now General Puri is saying that there is no space for indiscipline. So those individuals who are indulged in violence, जो लोग violence कर रहे हैं उनकी तो वैसे ही जो है हालत खराब होने वाली है. Why he is saying this? Because there is a police verification that is to be carried out. अब पुलिस वेरिफिकेशन जो है वो करानी पड़ती है. आफ्टर द पुलिस वेरिफिकेशन you will be you can be part of armed forces. So here in the police verification, if someone is indulged in arsoning or this violence that is going on, definitely their prospects will go down. उनका नुकसान हो जाएगा यहाँ पे. ठीक है ना, उनका नुकसान हो जाएगा. So he is pointing towards this thing. So he is requesting the youth that don't get indulged in these particular things. इन चीजों में ना indulge हो जाओ, ठीक है ना. So this is the important point here. So other than that, there is nothing much on this page. Now India gives emergency visas to 111 Afghan Hindus and Sikhs. Yesterday also there was one terror attack, and there are some developments, like we were again rethinking on opening our embassies. हम अपनी एम्बेसी को ओपन करने के लिए अब दोबारा सोच विचार कर रहे हैं. अर्लियर वी वर अबाउट टू ओपन आवर एम्बेसी, बट डेफिनेटली इफ दिस इज द सिक्योरिटी सिचुएशन इन अफगानिस्तान, थिंग्स आर बिट टफ. चीज़ें थोड़ी टफ है वहाँ पे. ओके, सो यू कांट रिस्क द लाइफ ऑफ इंडियंस देयर. डेफिनेटली that's why it is important that we may rethink about opening up our embassy. But the point is this, कब तक ऐसा चलेगा? At the end of the day, we have to engage with Taliban in Afghanistan, because if we are not opening our embassy but other countries are opening their embassy, so they will have the advantage. उनको advantage हो जाएगी, ठीक है ना. So this is the point that we have to look into. ये सारी points, ये सारे calculation हमें देखने हैं. So India has really helped us. This is what Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Sri Lankan Prime Minister, is mentioning, and definitely India has played a really important role. See, when you talk about Sri Lanka, okay, a small island nation is there. Now this small island nation is important for our national security. हमारी national security के लिए ये बहुत important है. Okay, because we can't afford to lose this island to other external powers, say China. कि चाइना आए यहाँ पे और इंटरफेयर करे, एंड देन चाइना एंड अप यूजिंग द श्रीलंका अगेंस्ट द इंडियन इंटरेस्ट. वी कैन नॉट अफोर्ड दिस टू हैपन. ओके, तो ये चीज़ हम बिल्कुल भी अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट दैट वी शुड हेल्प श्रीलंका राइट नाउ, because anyways over dependence of Sri Lanka on China is not in our interest. Okay, simple सी calculation है. And other than that, you look into the policies that we have. आपकी neighborhood first policy है sir. Okay, you have your neighborhood first policy. It means that your neighborhood is your priority, and this is how we treat them. India is a country with magnanimous heart. बहुत बड़ा दिल है हमारा, ठीक है ना. So जरूरत पड़ने पर हम help करते हैं सबकी यहाँ पे. Okay, so if you look into the policies that we have, so गुजराल doctrine को अगर हम देखें, okay, Gujarat doctrine was proposed, and we follow few principles of Gujarat doctrine in our foreign policy. So we talk about non reciprocity. Okay, हम बात करते हैं non reciprocity की. अब ये reciprocity क्या होता है? Means that non reciprocity means that we will continue our help. Okay, we will continue our assistance, but we don't want anything in return. हमें return में कुछ नहीं चाहिए, बिल्कुल एकदम जिसे बोलते हैं कि like selflessly we are going to help them out. This is what we are doing there. Okay, so this is the important thing that you should know. Other than that, there is nothing much. So directly we'll move to the editorial section. सीधा editorial section पे चलेंगे. We'll try to figure it out what exactly is there for us in this editorial. Okay, so here we have this editorial which is saying that EPI may rankle but India can recast the policies. The point is that this editorial is based on the absurd calculation by the environmental performance index. Okay, अब ये environmental performance index जो है ये लिया गया है, and it is rating India at 180th rank. Now I am saying this particular index is absurd. Okay, because it is somehow undermining all the efforts that government of India is doing. क्या हम इतने बेकार परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं? You ask yourself. Okay, you ask yourself, are we performing this bad? Your forest cover is increasing every year. Every year there will be a forest report that will be out, and that report will highlight that the forest cover is increasing. Contrary to that, our ranking has gone down. Isn't it absurd? Already we are working on moving towards electronic vehicles. What's for that? क्यों इतना शोर मचा हुआ है इस कंट्री के अंदर? And contrary to that, our ranking has been deteriorated. So this is the important point you have to understand, and it has been found that majorly issue is with their calculation. Okay, किस बेट पे वो calculate करते हैं, and that's bit problematic. वो थोड़ा सा problematic है, ठीक है ना. So these are the things. Let's look into this in detail. So here you need to understand one thing. So the methods of a particular, you can say, index can be a bit problematic. Now apart from that, you need to understand, now here we have US economy. US economy, their carbon emission is way more than Indian economy because of their habits and choices that they have. Their living style is like this. Every year they are, you can say, consuming so much electricity. हम तो उसके आसपास भी नहीं है. India is nowhere nearer to that, but still Indian ranking has been deteriorated. What so? Why so? So here government definitely, like, government is sensitive about the global rankings. The latest environmental performance index placed India last among the 180 assessed countries. Now definitely ये सब होने के बाद तो प्रॉब्लम होनी ही थी. Okay, so issue is related to the how you are calculating. Now they are basically prioritizing the flow of greenhouse gases from countries while reducing the emphasis of stock of carbon dioxide. अब स्टॉक ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को पैरामीटर वो नहीं ले रहे हैं, एंड द एमिशन ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड in multiple countries has been taken as a parameter. Now definitely India is a fastest growing economy in the world. When you have the fastest growing economy in the world, definitely your industrial activity will be really good. Okay, आप fastest growing economy हो, ठीक है ना, आप fastest growing economy हो, and your, you can say, it is going to increase. आपका कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एमिशन ज्यादा होगा, इट इज क्वाइट लेजिटिमेट, as simple as that. Contrary to that, they are not factoring in the stock of carbon dioxide. Means in the past, how the industrialized countries, they have carried out increase in carbon dioxide, and उनकी एक्टिविटी की वजह से आज तक वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड एटमॉस्फेयर में है. So we cannot done away with the historical, you can say, problems that they have created. Okay, today they might be developed, आज वो developed हो गए हैं, but history के अंदर तो उनका रिकॉर्ड बहुत खराब है. So we cannot undermine that, and this is what has been given here, and this is what government of India is saying. We are saying that this is bit problematic. How are you calculating it? किस बेस पे आप कह रहे हो? So here EPI dwells on the performance on air quality, waste management, and ecological conservation measures. Okay, they are saying that on these three parameters, basically they are going to come out with the performance. Now Jack Stephen, I hope you got your answer, because these three parameter has been mentioned in the editorial itself. So dwells on the performance of air quality, waste management, ecological conservation. Now definitely we do understand that in cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, the air quality has deteriorated over the time because of the vehicular movement and all. Waste management is also, you can say, a bit problematic in India, because we know that in urban, areas, like waste management recycling facilities are not available everywhere. हर जगह तो recycling की facilities जो है वो available नहीं है. तो we can understand that this problem might exist. Okay, but आप ये बोलोगे कि हमने कुछ conservation measures नहीं लिए, that is bit problematic, because we have done a lot. Already we have announced something called net zero emission target. Now 2070 is the net zero emission target that the government has set. Already we are moving in that direction. And this report estimates that China, India, US and Russia, they are expected to account over 50% of the global greenhouse gas emission by 2050. कि भाई by 2050 जो है इतने ये चार कंट्री सबसे ज्यादा like they are the one who are going to create problems. Okay, but it is very unlikely. You cannot ignore the important things that are there. One is the equity principle. Historically you have to do it. Historically you have to understand it. Okay, industrial revolution in Britain started way back in 18th century. Now at that time we were nowhere near to create pollution. वहां पे 18th century से फैक्ट्रीज चल रही हैं, 19th century से फैक्ट्रीज चल रही हैं. हाउ कैन यू अंडरमाइन द पोल्यूशन दैट दे हैव कॉज्ड एट दैट टाइम? वो उस टाइम का पोल्यूशन आज तक एग्जिस्ट कर रहा होगा ना. That's bit problematic. You cannot undermine the historical element to that. That's why we say that you have to, every country has different responsibilities towards fighting against this particular greenhouse gas or climate change. सबकी responsibility different है. You cannot undermine the mistakes that they have committed in the past. So India at present, if you see, we have the low per capita greenhouse gas emission. Your intensity of greenhouse gas emission has come down. You have this target of achieving 40% renewable power generation. Now this is really a big thing. 40% आपकी पावर रिन्यूएबल से आने वाली है, ये हमारा टारगेट है. एंड हाउ कैन वी अंडरमाइन दिस? How can we undermine this in the calculation? That's a bit problematic. Okay. Already I told you net zero emission by 2070 has been announced by Modi ji, and we are working in that direction. Okay. You can say in the building design and code we have included the best practices, the construction material, the cement, steel. So already like there is some scope for reduction. We do agree to that, and for that पॉलिसीज माइट हैव टू बी रिवाइज्ड. आपको पॉलिसीज रिवाइज करनी है उसके लिए, ठीक है. अब स्कोप तो हमेशा ही रहेगा, ठीक है ना. इट इज नॉट लाइक दिस कि स्कोप इज गोइंग टू एंड. स्कोप विल डेफिनेटली बी देयर. पॉलिसीज हैव टू बी रिवाइज, एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी आर डूइंग. वही तो हम कर रहे हैं, पॉलिसीज रिवाइज कर रहे हैं एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स, ठीक है ना. सो ये इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं जो यहाँ पे समझनी है. Okay, so this is what we had in this editorial. We'll move to the next part now. Now revisiting social justice under the Dravidian model. Okay, so they are basically calculating, they are asking in this editorial regarding the parameters, means parameter in the sense carry out with the real time data. Okay, real time data regarding the, you can say, reservation and other things. So whatever quota that you have brought, quota का पूरा आपके पास data होना चाहिए. Okay, which all communities are benefiting out of that quota, which all communities are not benefiting out of that quota, which are the vulnerable sections which are still not represented. कौन सा ऐसे vulnerable section है जो अभी भी नहीं, जिनके बारे में नहीं पता. So all those things have to be mentioned here. वो सारी चीजें यहाँ पे इन्होंने बताई हैं, ठीक है ना. So other than that, here we have another, you can say, editorial, recognizing the compulsory women worker. Now the point is this. Here they are pointing towards few things, that number of women, okay, in your as a labor has gone down. So Center for Monitoring Indian Economy reported that labor participation rate of rural women was 9.92% in March 22 compared to 67% for men. Means that still women is underrepresented. Is it so? See, one is this. One is that women is not, you can say, getting the jobs. एक तो ये मामला हो गया, opportunities are less, ठीक है ना. Opportunities are less. Okay, that is what we can understand. Other angle is regarding the legal definition. Okay, legal definition. Now in the legal definition, if someone is not registered or you can say recognized as labor, so definitely unka representation in labor force will not be there. So say take example, if some woman is working on her farm, अब उसका एक आधा एकड़ या एक एकड़ की जमीन है, and she is working on her farm, she is managing things on her own. So there she might be doing the same work, same काम कर रही होगी, but she will not be, considered as a labor. So this is the point you have to understand. That's why we have to recognize how legally we are defining these terms, because they are entitled to some government benefits. कुछ सरकारी benefits हैं जो इनको मिलते हैं. Okay, if they are recognized as a legal entity. Now, if they are not being recognized as a legal entity, a legal labor, so they might not be able to get those government benefits. वो सरकारी benefit मिलेंगे ही नहीं. That's a bit problematic. Other point is that definitely there have been a failure to provide them adequate jobs. आप jobs बिल्कुल नहीं provide कर पा रहे हो. There is sort of disappointment at the rural economy, बिल्कुल है वहाँ पे. Okay, we know that agriculture is already under distress here in India, and the job prospects are minimal. बहुत ही कम नौकरियां हैं वहाँ पे, and because of that as well, the women might not even be trying for more jobs. Because of these compulsions, क्या पता वो दोबारा जो है और नौकरियां ढूंढे ही ना. So all this is happening here. Okay, all this is happening here. So here they talk about MG Narega. Now MG Narega is considered as a really important tool to empower women, because earlier it was stated that nearly 50% of laborers working in MG Narega are women. ये पहले बोला जाता था, ठीक है ना. But here there are some facts that are there, that every worker on the site, they complained about getting only 40 days of work. पूरे साल में 40 दिन का काम मिल रहा है, बट द एक्ट सेज दैट यू विल गेट मिनिमम 100 days of work. Okay, now it can be primarily because of multiple reasons. One is that the work is not there. एक ये कि work ही नहीं है. Other is regarding the funding. Okay, so funding might be an issue. So all these things are there. These are bit problematic things, and we have to do a lot. इन चीज़ों को ठीक करने के लिए आपको ज़रूर कुछ ना कुछ करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है ना. So this is required because MG Narega, it was a successful thing and we cannot allow it to be a failure. So this is what has been pointed here. Okay, so we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं. So petty patents can boost the research and development. See, patent is really very important because patent is the intellectual property that we have created, and the person who is creating that intellectual property, he has the commercial rights. Okay, उसके ही कॉमर्शियल राइट्स होंगे कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना. उसने अपना दिमाग लगा के, अपनी एनर्जी लगा के कुछ चीज़ बनाई है. So here, that's why it is important. If you want more R&D, अगर आप चाहते हो कि research and development हो, more people they opt for innovations, कुछ innovation वो करें, so you have to provide them with the patent protection. आपको पेटेंट तो प्रोटेक्ट करना ही पड़ेगा उनका. ओके, अदरवाइज दे विल हैव नो इंसेंटिव. पता लगे उनके आइडियाज को कोई चोरी कर गया एंड ही इज मेकिंग मनी आउट ऑफ इट. सो फॉर कंसिडरिंग दोज पर्टिकुलर थिंग्स इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. चलिए, so we'll move to the next part now. आगे चलते हैं. So here we have another news. So Indian interest at the WTO ministerial conference. Okay, so this WTO ministerial conference is conducted every 2 years. 2 साल में एक बार होती है. And WTO, the idea is this: the decisions are taken at this ministerial conference level. Okay, WTO की एक खास बात है because it works on consensus making. बिल्कुल कंसेंसस बना के आपस में then the decision is taken. So here the ministerial conference is going on and this article is talking about that what India is demanding now. आज की डेट में इंडिया क्या चाह रहा है, what are the issues that are being discussed at the WTO level. तो issues क्या चल रहे हैं वो चीज यहाँ पे चल रही है. Okay, because we know that developed nations, they will have some demand, and definitely developing nations, specifically like India. So our concerns and priorities are different. हमारी concerns और हमारी priority different है, ठीक है ना. Developed nations definitely they want more access, उनको market access चाहिए. Okay, but for your developing nation, local producer, domestic जो producer है उसकी प्रोटेक्शन भी हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. यू कैन नॉट अंडरमाइन द, यू कैन से प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लोकल मैन्युफैक्चरर. ऐसा तो हम बिल्कुल भी नहीं कर सकते. ओके, दैट्स द पॉइंट. सो हियर दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अंडर दिस पर्टिकुलर मिनिस्टीरियल कॉन्फ्रेंस, this is the 12th one, there are few things that are to be discussed. So that regarding the patent regulations to achieve global vaccine equity. Okay, because India has also demanded that patent should be, you can say, डाइल्यूटेड. कहीं ना कहीं पेटेंट को डाइल्यूट करना चाहिए स्पेसिफिकली टू फाइट अगेंस्ट कोविड. मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट एंड ऑल जो भी हम यूज कर रहे हैं, सो उसके ऊपर जो पेटेंट प्रोटेक्शन वगैरह है वो भी हटा दो. नाउ इफ वी आर गोइंग टू रिमूव दैट पेटेंट प्रोटेक्शन, देन डेफिनेटली वी कैन अश्योर द मास प्रोडक्शन. उसके बाद मास प्रोडक्शन पॉसिबल हो जाएगा. Okay, so this is what they are saying. Then they are talking about ensuring food security. Now food security means that India maintains buffer stock. हम तो अपना buffer stock maintain करके रखते हैं. So Western countries, they have problem with that. They have this problem that why India is hoarding so much amount of, you can say, grains and other things. So we have our own, you can say, concerns. Your food security is important. We don't know tomorrow what can happen. कोविड जैसी चीज आई एंड पीपल वर रियली, यू नो, इट वाज डिफिकल्ट फॉर देम टू सर्वाइव. ओके, सो सब्सिडीज माइट बी रिक्वायर्ड. नाउ अकॉर्डिंग subsidies to the fisheries sector, definitely it's a concern. Then there are some, you can say, discussions regarding the e-commerce, specifically because the developed nations, they are demanding that new norms should be brought on e-commerce and whatever barriers that have been imposed should be removed. e-commerce को लेके जितने भी barriers हमने लगा रखे हैं वो सब यहाँ से हटा देने चाहिए. This is what they are demanding. So I already told you they have this issue regarding the public stock holding. Okay, and they want everything to be there in the international market. Right now also government of India has imposed a ban on wheat. Okay, तो उनको इससे भी प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. ठीक है ना. सो ये सारी चीजें यहाँ पे इन्होंने बताई हैं. नाउ व्हाट इज दिस WTO मिनिस्ट्रियल कॉन्फ्रेंस? सो दिस इज द टॉप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन in the WTO, and all the decisions are taken at this level. Okay, so how this is different from other international organizations? So in the IMF or in World Bank, decision might be taken by board of director, but here there is no provision for that. WTO does not delegate the power to board of director, and the decisions are taken collectively. सारे countries आपस में consensus बना के decision लेते हैं. Okay, so this is the whole thing that is there. This is the whole thing that is there. तो ये सारा डिस्कशन का यहाँ पे टॉपिक है. ओके, सो राइट नाउ देर आर सम कंसर्न्स रिगार्डिंग मेंबर कंट्रीज एग्रीड टू एक्सटेंड द करंट मोरेटोरियम ऑन नॉट इम्पोजिंग कस्टम ड्यूटीज ऑन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक ट्रांसमिशन. ओके, सो मेंबर्स अभी इसी के ऊपर एम्फोसाइज कर रहे हैं कि भाई कस्टम ड्यूटीज जो हैं दे आर गोइंग टू, they will not impose custom duty on you can say electronic transmission goods. Now the point is this, India and South Africa, we are opposing it. हम इसको oppose करना चाहते हैं because we want to impose the custom duty. Definitely गवर्नमेंट के लिए रेवेन्यू का एक सोर्स होता है कस्टम ड्यूटी. सो दिस इज हाउ द थिंग्स आर. डेफिनेटली थिंग्स विल बी डिस्कस्ड, इसको नेगोशिएट किया जाएगा आगे. So we'll wait and watch how things will take turn. Okay, other than that there is nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. Okay, so here we are moving to other news. Now army team lead flood rescue in Assam. So this is the situation there in Assam. And see, the point is this, it shows that how ill prepared your state government is. Okay, it is not confined to just Assam. In other parts as well, we have seen it multiple times. Your local machinery, your municipality, they are not competent enough to handle these type of crisis situation, and that's why always there will be a demand for, you can say, assistance from army. So ये सारी चीजें समझना जरूरी है. Now it also has the impact on working of army, because if army is busy in this rehabilitation and disaster management work, अगर डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट ही करते रहे तो हाउ विल दे डिफेंड देयर बॉर्डर्स? वो बॉर्डर को कैसे डिफेंड करेंगे? सो दिस इज द पॉइंट ना. सो एवरी ईयर यू विल फाइंड दैट इन वन पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री और इन अदर आर्मी इज कॉल्ड. सो ऐसे नहीं चलता. वी हैव टू वर्क अपॉन इम्प्रूविंग द कैपेसिटीज एट द स्टेट लेवल. तो स्टेट लेवल की जो मशीनरी है उनकी कैपेसिटी बढ़ानी जरूरी है, सो दैट दे कैन हैंडल थिंग्स ऑन देयर ओन, अपने आप चीजों को हैंडल कर सके. ठीक है ना. सो दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर, एंड यू नीड टू हैव द फ्लड रेजिलियंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है फ्लड रेजिलियंट. ओके, infrastructure is required, and along with that you have to have people are also important. They should know what to do during floods. ये भी उनको मालूम होना चाहिए. Okay, so this is how things are. This is how things are. Other than that, as I told you, Gurdwara attack may delay the India's plan to reopen embassy. So this is going on right now. Okay, so ये situation बनी हुई है. It is bit problematic, थोड़ी problematic है. Okay, so that's the point. Other than that there is nothing much. Okay, so Agniveer to have distinct rank and insignia. So that's bit problematic, because it might create some, you can say, like there will be regular soldiers, and those regular soldiers they might, you know, like they might treat Agniveer equally. ऐसा भी हो सकता है. और Agniveers, they will also think that they are, you can say, second grade soldiers. So we don't want this thing to happen. So ये सारी चीजें हैं यहाँ पे. So having a different rank is one thing, but if it develops into this thing that who is a permanent soldier and who is a temporary soldier, so ये थोड़ा problematic हो जाएगा. Okay, so but I don't know how things will be managed. So other than that there is nothing much here. So we'll move to the next part. Now 5 high courts to get new chief justices. Okay, so delay in appointment is bit problematic. ये हमेशा से समस्या रही है. ठीक है ना, हमारे यहाँ पे इंडिया के अंदर, and this is one of the thing that is responsible for, you can say, poor performance of your judiciary. So this is the point. Okay, this is the point here. Other than that there is nothing much. India Bangladesh should work on river management. Already the Teesta water dispute, okay, is prolonging between India and Bangladesh. So it is important that we resolve this particular dispute here, because after the resolution is of this dispute, it will bring some goodwill for India in the Bangladesh people. Okay, so Bangladeshi, people, they will really be happy with that development. But the problem is that the West Bengal government, because they are not on the same page, so already we are not moving in that direction, but we should definitely work on that. So this is what we have. So assistance to Sri Lanka has put us in the middle of geopolitics, okay? Because multiple countries are interested. India is already helping it, and China is also putting up with help. Japan is also playing some role, okay? So India and Japan, they can join hands, and they are already joining hands. So earlier as well, both were interested in carrying out some developmental project. So this is the time that we should move ahead with this. Okay, so Sri Lanka को help करना ज़रूरी है, and it is important that we have to balance China there. So balancing China is the prime, you can say, goal for us. ये हमारे लिए prime goal है यहाँ पे. Okay, so this is the point that is there. Other than that, there is nothing much. So आगे नहीं है. Ukraine war could last years. This is what NATO chief is saying. Okay. So it is important that we should work on it. Already the world powers, they are putting pressure on Ukraine and Russia to settle down these talks and to do it as early as possible. जितना जल्दी हो सके इसको ठीक करने का ये प्लान कर रहे हैं. Okay. So other than that, there is nothing much. That's it for the day then. Thank you very much.